Alrighty. Hello everyone, Master47 here, and welcome to the finale of Titanic Week 2025. Yes, it's been quite a while since the last, well, it's actually been like 5 days since the last video, and I'm doing this today because of there's just been a lot going on to condense it down into one day. Yes, Crazy, just I'm a very busy person. Ew. Plus Easter's tomorrow. There will not be a video tomorrow, so happy Easter, everybody. I apologize. I'm not going to be able to do a video, but nonetheless, I appreciate y'all for, I'll tell y'all today. Happy Easter. So, you guys may be wondering, why are we in this corridor? Like, what are we doing here? And, to answer that question, we are going to have to walk forward and through here, yes. Okay, so today, for the finale of Titanic Week, we're going to be working on the giant reciprocating engines on the Titanic. Yes, it's going to be quite the episode, I guess, if you will. So what has been happening Titanic-wise? So I think most of us know the story. Titanic hits the iceberg and begins to sink. Okay, I want to keep that just for a block palette, if you will. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's the right word now. Alright, so a lot has happened. Titanic has sunk in the early hours of April 15th, 1912. Okay, so I am the real. Okay, so Titanic sunk. And there's a lot more to it than that, but for simplicity's sake. And the rescue ship, the RMS Carpathia, a Cunard liner, has responded to the distress signal and is steaming towards Titanic. Titanic's last known position, of course. So is her sister, the RMS Olympic, is also steaming towards Titanic's position. There's the inside of the reciprocating engines. We're going to have to completely, well, not completely, but going to have to redo the design of these. Okay. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to copy and paste it over to this side. Well, copy, flip it, put it on that side. Okay, I'm looking where a good part to start would be. That would probably be changing these to copper. Yeah, so Carpathia does get there. Olympic would not have gotten there in time at all. So Carpathia gets there, picks up the boats. It does take, what am I doing? A Minecraft. I haven't done a Minecraft FNAF video in, oh boy, it's been It has been a while since I did a Minecraft FNAF video. The reason, actually, I haven't done a Minecraft FNAF video. Have I seen the FNAF 2 movie trailer? I have. Looks, pretty good. The reason I haven't done a FNAF, Minecraft thing for a while is because the person I had help me with all that, Deadbird, I cannot get a hold of him anymore. Like, I can't get a hold of him on my phone. I can't get. I can get a hold of him on PlayStation, but it's a hit or miss of whether he answers. So I haven't really had co-commentary in quite some time on the channel. Well, actual co-commentary, not me talking to myself and. Alright. Give me 1 second, guys. So, these engines are the key responsibility, have the key responsibility of turning about 210, roughly 210 psi of steam pressure into propulsion. And how do these engines do it? Well, I don't know whether I'm towards the front or the back of the engine. No, I'm towards the back of the engine, I can tell. So, how do these engines do it? Well, I'm going to tell you. So, steam is generated from the boilers, the 29 boilers to be exact, and steam is generated to about 215 psi. Now, for all you Rockfire fans out there who are more familiar with the channel, 200 psi is like 3 times what you would run a Rockfire character on, because you would run. I don't know what the safe limit to run one of those guys on. It's like 60 psi. Is that something like that? That sounds about right. So about 60 psi, yeah, that is considerably less than. Okay, I'm gonna have to destroy this whole engine. I did not want to have to do that, but I'm gonna have to reshape the engine to my liking. So yeah, 215 psi, roughly. By the time it would get to the engines, it'd be about 210 because the steam would cool off and all that fun stuff. Also, these windows shouldn't be here, but we'll fix that. Which is just an obscene amount of pressure. And it would first go into the second or third cylinder on these, which is the high pressure cylinder. It takes the 210, uses that. Then I think it's about, oh, I'm going to sound like an idiot here, like 160 something, the steam. By the time it gets out of the yeah, about 160, maybe 170 psi. Okay, I have to close that. My sister's gonna be hitting the volleyball against the house, and I'm trying to keep. Man, she's playing music, and I can't have that go on in the video. So, oh well. Okay, so it would go into the medium pressure turbine, or medium pressure cylinder, which is the second or third one. One of them is low pressure, or high pressure, one's medium pressure. And then steam would leave there at about 70 to 90 psi, give or take. And it would then enter the two outer cylinders, which are the low pressure cylinders. And in the end, steam leaves here roughly 40 some psi, maybe a little bit lower than that. And that's how Titanic's. No, it leaves at about 60, 70 psi. I apologize. So, and then the steam leaves this room and goes to the turbine engine room, in which the steam is then used to turn the central turbine at about and then by the end of that, the steam goes to power the electric dynamos to power the lights. And in the end, the steam leaves the dynamo room at 1 psi. Just one. So you could really, they just wanted to get as much use as they could out of that steam, which okay, so I'm completely reshaping. Okay, if you guys don't know, that is the original design of the engine. That is in the reciprocating engine. That is in Pip. If you guys don't know, the interior tutorial of this Titanic was done by Pipkin06, one of my YouTube friends. As I've been real grateful to meet over the years. The one on the right side of the room, I guess depending on which, if you're looking at it from the front, it's the right one. Or if you're looking at it from the back, it's the right one. If you're looking at the front, it's the left one. So, the one we're not building is the original design by Pipkin for the reciprocating engines, which they're still pretty big. My only problem with these is there are supposed to be 3 driving arms, if you will, and there's only 4. Or there's only 3. There's supposed to be 4. Which, what, yada yada yada. And then there are these, like guiding arms, I guess, if you will. I really don't know what they're for. Okay, so I'm just going to cut around the, so I'm redesigning it, the engine. I don't think, she has any problem with me doing this, for sake of realism. So, it should be 2 blocks from each arm. Okay. So, I've redesigned it so that we have the 4 driving arms we need from the 4 cylinders. And we also have these little copper casings, which I forgot to build one. And I'll build one real quick for you guys. So they just come off the base of the engine. Like so. They go around. Well, I took out the floor. I took out the double bottom. Alright. And they just go up and around the propeller shaft. Like so. And then I guess that's just to keep them in line so they don't slip out and damage anything. Which is... Alright. So, this room... And then I did these weird guiding arms attaching, which there isn't really enough room inside the ship to make really good looking reciprocating engines. But I'm gonna give it my best shot and see what we can accomplish. Alright, so these stands right here are supposed to be diagonal. Well, there's only supposed to be one of these, to be fair. There's supposed to be one going diagonal that way, one going diagonal that way, and 2 on the other side, of course. And they'd also be going diagonal in as well. And the main cylinder, which I'm going to be building right now, sits right on top of here. Okay, I was a bit scared there wasn't enough room. Okay, we're going to build this up to the almost the top, like so. And I'm gonna take out these mushroom lights that I used before, these shroom lights. And I'm gonna place a few in here. And those aren't for anything other than just lights. So from the bottom it's illuminated with hidden lighting, which is some of my favorite kind of lighting to use. So not only is it... Oh no, she's playing tennis. Oh gosh. thought Blackstone because, you know, why not? It's really the darkest block I can use that has stairs and slabs associated with it. On walls. I'm not even using slabs. Alright, let me take a look. There's a really good image. Okay, so each four of these cylinders are separate. Then there is some black piping that goes in between, so the steam can go in between the stuff. So I'm going to get rid of the... That is not what I meant to do. I'm going to get rid of the stairs for slabs. Alright, so this room is important during the sinking, as the reciprocating engine room is up roughly at the spot of where the ship broke in half. Okay, Okay, it looks like I'm gonna have to take apart some of the wall here. Can I move this corridor in one? Oh, it's gonna be a really small corridor then. Plus, this one's like even further jutting out. Okay, we'll figure it out, I guess. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this corridor and I'm gonna ripple it, essentially. And what I mean by that is I'm gonna take it in a couple blocks in a certain places to create like a false wall almost around these cylinders. So it's something like that. Actually, I'm going to take out the bottom one there. Alright, now, for simplicity's sake, I'm going to use a different block to do the pipe work. But that's essentially what we're looking for. So I have to build that 4 times. And I'm going to cut the corners out of here too. Just make it look a bit more roundish, because these are circles. Whoops. I did not want to do that. Alright. Alright. So yeah, this room is important because this is roughly where Titanic would break in half. Which is just wild to think about. But actually on the stern section of the wreck, the second cylinder from the front is actually the one that's sticking. It's sticking out from the bottom of the wreck. It's actually roughly how tall these engines are about how tall the stern wreck is nowadays. Which I don't know what that goes to show any of you, but like, it was a violent, violent breakup for the stern of the Titanic. Like, and reason I say there were like only the second one is visible. Okay, so I'm gonna take out that, and again, catty corner the wall. I don't know if that's the right word, but that's the word I'm using. And yeah, the reason I say it's the second cylinder from the back is because this entire engine setup was pretty much also split when the ship split. Like, this whole front cylinder fell off and landed, I don't know, somewhere in the debris field, which is just, I don't actually know where it is, but it's somewhere in the debris field, which must have been absolutely terrifying for the engineers who were still in here, if there were any at the time. Because you gotta think, the ship is literally breaking up underneath where you're standing. Like, it is not a fun thought to think about. Like, it is nuts. So, yeah, I'm going to build up one of these engines, and then we're going to build the second one. Or I'm going to copy and paste the second one. Just because I've pretty much had to tear down the engine and build the whole thing up from scratch. Like, it's going to be very boring if I do it the same way. So yeah, what's happening in Titanic's world since I've last made a video on this is what I was originally saying. And then I got sidetracked, but it's okay. So, Titanic, like I said, has sunk. Uh, okay, so anyway, Titanic has sunk, is gone with, along with 1,500, over 1,500 people. Um, it is a real sad story, if you will. Carpathia does pick up the survivors, the survivor at roughly 5 or 6 in the morning. So to put that into perspective, Titanic doesn't sinks to 2:20 in the morning, roughly. Of course, that's estimated. And her survivors aren't picked up until about 5 or 6 in the morning, so for a good 3-4 hours they just spent in a lifeboat, which is wild. So Carpathia comes, picks up the boats. The Californian, the ship that was the closest to Titanic during the sinking, but they didn't respond to the distress signal because their wireless operator has gone to bed, or went to bed, just shortly before the ship started. But, yeah, Carpathia would reach New York on the 18th, and the survivors would be put through whatever crew, the surviving crew, and everybody else would be put uh, under on testimony for during the U.S. inquiry over the coming weeks. Another ship, which I apologize, I don't know the name of off the top of my head, is sent to recover the dead from Titanic. I believe Californian picked up some. So, yeah, it's terrible. A lot of the dead, like once it gets back to New York or Halifax, I'm sorry, which I think is where in Canada is where the graveyard is. But or Nova Scotia, I believe, is where the graveyard is. But for those of the dead that could be, you could tell who they were. They were obviously given their burial and all that. Unfortunately for some of them, um, you couldn't tell who they were anymore. So they had to, they just plopped them in a grave and obviously gave them a dignified send-off, but they just gave them numbers because you couldn't tell who they were anymore. Which has gotta suck. Like, you really gotta think. Like, that's gotta be, like, one of the worst, like nobody can recognize your body after, it's been out at sea for, like, 3 days. Probably not that much, but no, maybe. And then they just plop you in an unmarked, well, it's not unmarked, but, like, am I doing this right? No, I'm not. Because that's supposed to go on the underside of that cylinder. Right? Yes. Oh, I built that up a block too much. So, yeah. Now, a lot of stuff will take place in the coming weeks, Titanic-wise. Like the U.S. and British inquiry, that to find out, what the cause. Which, in my opinion, the U.S. inquiry was the worst one. As really, if you read it, it's really just um, the senator, which it was, the inquiry was done by the Supreme Court. which the senator was more focused on really just, I think, advancing his own career than he was um, actually figuring out what happened. Which, you know, say what you want, but that's not right. Alright, I'm going to use, I'm gonna use obsidian. I need a different block anyway. Get rid of this white concrete. Alright, so roughly here, where do I want to do it? Let me look at an image. Okay, so there's like two pipes. One will come out of here and go along to here. And I assume they just connect to these. And then there's a second pipe, like down here, or we'll put it down here. And my guess, these are the different steam lines, if you will. As if you guys know how a cylinder works, well, air or steam gets pushed in one side to extend the cylinder, and then it gets pushed in the other side to retract the cylinder, which, cool little bit of engineering. At least I think so. And it does look like there are steam lines on the other side. So National Geographic is doing a, or either is doing or did a documentary on the wreck. Because if you guys don't know, like, a couple years ago, somebody went down, or a company went down to the wreck of the Titanic, took like over 7,000 pictures of it, and was able to turn those pictures into a full, like, 3D scans of the wreck. It's quite remarkable. And they've since turned it into a digital experience, if you will. So it's on Steam. It's called VROV, or VROV, I guess, if you want to call it that. So, yeah, they're really cool. I do recommend checking them out. I'm not sponsored, although that would be really awesome if I was sponsored by them. Okay, now that we have those, I'm going to save the other pillars for me for another time. And just so that I'm doing this on video to show you guys the basic plan here, I'm going to take, we'll take something lighter like polished deep slate. When I come off here, there are supposed to be doors here. So I'm going to use iron. Oh wait, that's a stupid place to put them. Okay, I'm going to have to extend this up by one. Can I put... Okay, this is going to be really cool if I can... Oh wait, why don't I just use a button? Like a smart person would. Or like a lever. Again, like a smart person would. I can get rid of these, I guess. And I'll make it flush with the outside here. And I'm going to use buttons on this side. We use white because it looks, it blends in with the wall. And then you can prop the door open, so if you so choose. Okay, so the first platform thing. Oh, I probably should. These are supposed to be connected up through here with blackstone. Well, I'm going to use blackstone, just because that's the same color as what I used for the cylinder. That doesn't come out, does it? Okay, no, it doesn't. Da-da-da. And, okay, I think that actually goes down to, like, I'm going to do it to here, because that's where the guy, quote-unquote, guiding arm is supposed to be. I don't know if that's the actual name for it. I doubt it. But it'd be cool if I was right. It'd be really cool if I was right. Alright. Man, this would have been so much easier if I decided to build this. Actually, build the engine like this the first time. Okay, so I'm going to cut it in half. Make it just a little bit easier probably to see. Whoops. 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then come around this side and... Alright, now we gotta come around the back side of the... Or the other side of the engine. I don't really know if it's technically the back side, because... Alright, so there is one engine. Alright, so I guess I'll do the platform here. And the only thing I don't like about using this block is the fact of just how many... of just a little face on it. Okay, I'm realizing I can't get around the other side of the cylinder. Okay. Okay, so you can walk through here, and I've been meaning to do this ever since I built the thing, is actually make access hatches, if you will. Okay, and then for the sake of... I'm not going to say realism, because I don't know how realistic this is. So I'm going to take white railing all the way to the end. And whether all this is going to be used, and then every second block on these I'm going to bring down to make it look like it's being supported by something. Because I genuinely think a fall from this height in Minecraft would kill you. If not very close to killing you. Alright, and then I know there is a... Alright, so there's that one up there. Then there is a platform. We'll do it here, which will go around the whole thing. Except for this little bit, there is a... Oh, I can't. Oh, wait. Okay, where's the... Where you're right up against it. It's actually right here. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna have to take this down like a block. And same thing on this side. Alright, so that'll come down over here, and I can actually go around the whole thing. Alright, so I am running out of time just a little bit. Alright, I don't want to fully encapsulate these, sort of, yet, because I do need to rebuild the outer ones. Alright, so these get little platforms coming along here, little walkways. And I guess this is for the greasers, so that they can get up to the cylinder, grease the cylinders so they don't freeze up on you. How many blocks do I have in between here? Okay. And this is why, see, I'm not sure if I should use that, because these are like graded walkways, because you could see through them. The one thing I'm not a big fan of is the fact that the block sticks to these. Five. Okay. So this is basically what I'm going for. Whoops, I did not just mean to fall. So you can get up here, grease the cylinders, so that they don't lock up on you. And of course there are various other and then I know up through here, which I'm probably going to do it over through here, there is a staircase, if you will, going all the way up to here so that the engineers can go out onto their promenade and, I don't know, have a smoke or something. Take a little break, you take a breath of fresh air, look out on the ocean, stuff like that. Oh, in between this episode and the last episode, I went through all of the second class room space on the ship, and I replaced the raw gold block with the target block. I think it looks so much better. And already these engines look pretty good. I think so, at least. So, with that being said, I'd actually like to grab some obsidian again. I'll work on this off camera. We'll do a full tour, if you will, sometime later. So I'd like to go all the way to boiler room 6, and actually... Am I there yet? This boiler room 6. This is 5 still. Here's 6. You can tell because it only has 4. So we have the uptake. That's gonna get confusing, but I would like to okay, maybe I don't want to use that. think an interesting project, like, this is just me thinking out of the blue, would be building this in survival. Like, interior and all. Just to see, like, if that's possible. That'd be a fun video series. But we do it in hardcore Minecraft because we're cool like that. It's not going to end well for me, I can tell you that, but that might be cool. Where is the basalt? Is it in stone? Oh, it's in stone types. Polished basalt is what I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm going to go through. So it's on the second, the two boilers that are in the middle is what I'm going to. Okay. Okay, I'm through the other end. And I'm going to grab just mob spawners real quick and just. Which they're called monster spawners. Oh, odd. I'm just going to cover up that. And then this is a guide so I can go through the whole ship and put the main steam lines through. That's not right. This is right. Alright, so like how that is, we just go through. I'm gonna connect one to this. I'm actually going to take that and go the whole way across. And instead of doing steam there, we're gonna have it connect up through there. Same thing, go whole way back. Have it connect up through there. Alright, we're in boiler room 5 right now. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so we're gonna have to take out. Okay, we're through there. Grab that one. Go 1, 2. Okay, we're all the way through. And then I'm gonna grab, change out the obsidian. And do that. Connect up the things. Boiler Room 4 actually has an interesting story during the sinking. So like an hour, maybe an hour and a half or so into the sinking, this boiler room would start flooding. And not from above like you'd expect, like water trickling down. No, not how you'd expect. The water actually started flooding from the floor, otherwise known as the stokehold plate, which you can go down in there and check out the ballast or the freshwater tanks or whatever you so choose to check on underneath within the double bottom. So, and, you know, just the fact that it was reported from witnesses who were in Boiler Room 4 at the time that Boiler Room 4 was flooding up from the stokehold plate just brings an interesting theory that like while Titanic hit the iceberg, like sideswiped it, there's a theory that she may have also run aground on the iceberg, which could be possible. Of course, could not. Could be possible. Could also. Who knows? We may never know. Because we cannot access Boiler Room 4 due to how far forward it is in the ship. So it's a little unfortunate. We'll never really know the true answer to that one. Okay, I'm keeping an eye on my time. I do, unfortunately, have to work today. With today being, I should say this, with today being the last day in Titanic week, we will be going back to Rockfire content. But I do appreciate you all for being here and just not really celebrating, but remembering the story of Titanic, the story that is told so many times, and sometimes in so many different ways that it's a story of mankind going against nature and losing, I guess, if you will. For the first ever Titanic week we've done on the channel, though, I think it's... I definitely have some ideas for next year. I would like to bring in a couple special guests, if I can get a hold of anybody for next year. Would be we're going to build the pipe through here. Alright, now we need to take those steam lines up and into there. And those are the main steam lines, such and such, that feed the reciprocating engines, which later go into the turbines, which you could, which is evident, I think, actually in the sinking, with evidence that the... Okay, I'm going to leave that as is for right now. I think it's actually evident within the sinking that the a steam valve on the stern, I don't know if it's supposed to be further back or forward or what it's supposed to be, but there is a steam valve that is open, which actually proves the point that the engineers did in fact, well, some engineers, of course, did in fact stay until the very last moment they could. Okay, this is going to be a fun one to do. So, in reality, so what they're supposed to be is driving arm, two little guiding arms, if you will, and then this. then the same thing, guiding arm, driving arm, guiding arm, this. And in between, well, on this, you're supposed to be able to go in between the engines here for, I guess, greasers as well, so they can make sure the ship is indeed nice and greasy, if you will. Sounded a lot better in my head, in hindsight. Okay, so we're gonna take this, and we're going to go along the whole lower part of the engine here. And I'm using images from Titanic: Honor and Glory. I'm not actually using images from the movie, which I have done in the past. There, I think there's supposed to be one more layer or something of little platforms, if you will. I am using the images from Titanic: Honor and Glory, such as because the movie was filmed an entirely different ship, a later down the line ship. So to avoid whatever inaccuracies may be there, I will not be using the movie as reference. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come around. I'm going to take this floor, and I'm going to fill this floor in over here. And I'm going to fill in the wall up here. And essentially, I'm going to have this go the whole way up to here, with various staircases, of course. And we're going to have that come around and be able to go all the way up there, then we're going to come all the way down here. Probably over here, with this, we're going to have ways to get in between the engines, and we're going to put a few more instruments down here, like steam gauges and the telegraph for the engines. The turbine engine, I'm not going to change. The dynamos, I'm not going to change, because here there is clearly a way out of the ship. So, yeah. So that is where I'm going to leave this video, and more importantly, guys, that is where I'm going to leave Titanic Week for 2025. Again, I do appreciate you all for being here, and just, in reality, I'm not doing this series for my personal gain. I'm really just doing this for the various passengers and souls that were lost on the Titanic. So it's more a remembrance thing for me. So yeah, I do hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all were able to take a little bit of information from this year for Titanic Week. I hope I was able to be some help. Not even help, just some. And hopefully you guys learned a few facts you didn't know. Because that's the real important thing, is that you guys learned something maybe you didn't know about the Titanic. without. And with that being said, I've been your host, Time Master 47, and I am signing off for the last time for 2025's Titanic week. Bye bye!